Hello everybody. So normally I stream my foundations class at 5:15, but since we're all hanging out at home, I thought I might do it earlier today. That way it's just up and posted. So foundations yoga is good if you're beginning a practice, or maybe you're working with an injury and just need a little more gentle practice. So this moves a little bit slower. I explain things a little bit more. The flow part of class we worked on in my beginner prep video a few days ago. So some of that I won't break down quite as much, but none of it's difficult anyway. And then later on in the practice, we'll work into some standing poses with a little bit of alignment. So grab a couple blocks if you have them. If you don't, it's no big deal. You don't have to have them. Have your mat or wherever you're comfortable. And let's get started. So go ahead and start in child's pose. Wide knee or close knee child's pose. So wide knee means knees to the edges, feet together, and reach your hips back. Or close knee child's pose would be knees together and reach your hips back. So whatever feels good to you. And know that your hips may not reach your feet. That's fine. Your hips may be up here. That's okay. You just stretch as far as you feel comfortable stretching. Most important part to start to breathe and to connect your breath to your body. So as you breathe in, maybe start to breathe in through your nose. Feeling the back body expand. As you exhale, feel everything soften. Inhaling, breathing in, and allow your body to move with that breath. Maybe your back comes up a little bit. And as you exhale, allow your body to soften with the exhale. Couple more breaths just like this. Breathing in and out through your nose. This is called Ujjayi Breath. Directly translated, that means victorious breath. And although it doesn't seem very victorious right now when you are in an easy pose, child's pose, and breathing, when we start to move and you're able to maintain this nice, slow, steady breath, that's when you're victorious. So just breathe in and out, a couple more breaths. Feeling the steady rhythm of your breath, and that's what we want to try and keep during our practice. When we start to move, it's very easy to forget about breathing. Start to hold our breath, and then it gets short and choppy. It's difficult to breathe. So if you notice that happening, then come back here to child's pose. Hang out for a moment till you can find your breath again. And slowly rock up to your hands and knees. Take your hands just a tiny bit wider than your shoulders and knees into your hips. Now it's really important here, I went over this in the last class, hands need to be spread very, very, very wide. So the tendency is to close those fingers up when you start getting tense or tired and roll to the outside edge of your hand. This can become very difficult on your wrists. A lot of wrist irritation when you do that. So keep the hands spread out nice and wide. Thinking about making a huge footprint down on your mat. And then keep the elbows from locking out or pressing forward. Just allow them to be a little soft. From here, take a nice breath in your neutral spine, and on your exhale, I want you to exhale into cat. Draw the belly in, puff up the back, stretch, let the head go. And then as you inhale, slowly press the chest forward, inhaling into cow, let the throat open, chin lift. Exhaling back into cat. Inhaling into cow. Exhaling back into cat. Couple more times. Inhaling cow. Exhaling cat. Good. Come back to your neutral spine. Take your right hand, flip it over to the back of your hand, and you're only going to let the back of that hand come down as far to the mat as you feel comfortable. And you're only going to straighten out your arm as far as your wrist feels comfortable. Only do this one hand at a time. We don't want to put a lot of weight on this spot. There's not any muscle strength being able to hold this wrist, so just a stretch. Good, bring it down. Same thing, other side, flip the back, the hand. Good, press down and straighten out only as much weight and length as you feel comfortable with. Good. Release. Spread the fingers out nice and wide. We're going to make our way into our first down dog. Remember to keep those hands rooted down. Tuck your toes, lift your hips. And start to press back into your first down dog. Let the head go. Maybe shake it out. No. Yes. Feel the head really heavy, long. And go ahead and keep those knees soft and bent. That way you can feel the spine reaching. You can feel the hands pressing down and forward. And then maybe think about, when you're in down dog today, keeping the weight more at the big, meaty base part of your thumb and the base of your pointer finger. Feel that area. Because the tendency is going to be to roll to the outside edge. So go ahead and just draw it back in. Feel all fingers pressing down. Good. Take a nice deep breath. And then on your next inhale, come up on your toes. Let's roll into our first plank. I want you to press down through the arms. So really press down, pushing the floor away, and then engage the quadriceps. This is going to really help you hold. So your quadriceps are the big muscles right here on the front of your thigh. Good. Good. And then press back to your down dog, lifting that tailbone up. Let's do that a couple more times. Come up on your toes, inhale into that plank. When you get into that plank, drive down through the arms, engage the quadriceps. Feel that power in your lower body that it has. Good, and then take it back to your down dog. Good, one more time. Roll into your plank. Press down through the arms, engage the quadriceps. Good, take it back to your down dog. Good, now this time we're going to make our way down to the mat. We're going to stay there for a moment. So come up on your toes, roll into your plank, hold that plank for a moment, press down, engage the quadriceps. Good, now I want you to rock a little forward on the toes, take the knees to the floor. And we're going to melt down. So hips come down, belly, chest. Good. Now go ahead and make a little hand pillow. So we're going to take our forehead and put it down on our hands. And we're going to lift the legs just for a little bit. Really lengthening and strengthening up that back body, especially the sacrum area. So from here with your head down, I'm going to leave mine up so that I can talk to you. I want you to feel like you're drawing your right thigh bone a little up into that hip and then lift that leg a little bit. Good, and up here just pulse it just a little bit. Start to flex the foot and point the foot and feel that hamstring engage when you inflex too. Good, bring it down. Same thing, left leg. Kind of plug that top of that thigh bone up into the hip a little bit. Good, and then lift that leg. Good, holding it up there. Flex the foot, point the foot, little lifts. Good. Good, bring it down. Good, take the fingers out or the hands out nice and wide. So they're in line with your shoulders, but they're probably going to be off your mat. Now I want you to also take your feet wide to the edges of your mat. So we're going to do a little back bend here, and by taking our feet wide, it's going to take some of the strain out of that low back, the L4-5, and into that S1 sacrum area. So from here, root the pelvis down just a little bit, press down the fingers. Good. Now when you're up here, if your shoulders are around your ears, feel them engage back. Good, take a breath, inhale, exhale, bring it down. Good, let's do that again. Rooting the pelvis down to the floor a little bit, feeling the shoulders draw away from the ears. Start to lift up. Good, take a breath. Good. Good, now let's take our hands in a little closer, slide them back to where your fingertips are in line with your armpits. Push the elbows back. Inhale, squeezing the arms to your side, lift up. Good, exhale, bring it down. Now you might be able to walk the feet back into hip width, but no, if you need to leave them wide, all right? Inhale, cobra. Good, and then press back up to your knees and make your way back to down dog. So we take back bending in little bite-sized pieces. And I only want you to take what feels comfortable to you. There's not a ton of them today, but we will move through that in a flow practice. So from now, I want you to come up on your toes, bend your knees. We're going to step up to the front of the mat. I'm going to show you all the alternatives today. If you know how to step up, please do. If you're not sure, take one knee down, step one foot up, and then the other. Now don't worry about the hands touching the floor. Go ahead and cross your arms, hold onto your elbows. Maybe sway a little side to side. Good, so hands touching the floor can seem really far away. And we have a tendency when we're beginning yoga practice to lock these legs back. And then we're in this rounded position, right? So I want you to keep those knees bent, shift the hips back, and lengthen. So the knees stay soft, at least a little bent, all the time. Find length in that spine. Good, now inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Press the arms to your thighs. And lift, reach the chest forward. Exhale, forward fold. Good, pressing down into the feet. Inhale, sweep all the way up tall. Good, exhale, Samastitihi. That means hands to your heart. So we're going to do a few half sun salutations, and I really want you to notice if you're locking out those legs, let the knees be soft. We have to be able to shift and move all this muscle. If those limbs are locked out, we get really static and stuck, all right? So inhale, sweep up. Exhale, soften the knees, forward fold. Good, inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Press those arms into the thighs so you can feel that back long. Exhale, fold. Good, press down into the floor, soften the knees, press all the way up, inhale. Exhale, Samastitihi. Good, let's do that again. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Good, press the hands to the thighs, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Really feeling and connecting that breath. Inhaling, sweep up tall, all the way up, inhale. Exhale, Samastitihi. So slow your breath rhythm down with what's going on. So as we inhale, big inhale. And then as we fold, exhaling all the way down. As we lift and lengthen halfway, inhaling all the way up. Exhaling, folding, exhaling all the way down. Good, inhale, sweeping all the way up tall. Good, exhale, Samastitihi. Very good, let's do that again. Adding on a little, inhale, reach all the way up. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, lift half, lengthen. Good, now this time exhale, we're gonna step back to our down dog. Again, the floor may feel far away, so bend the knees, maybe come back to all fours, and then move into your down dog. So that's an alternative. Always bringing those knees to the floor is an alternative. Very good. So from here, I want you to take your right leg and reach it up. Now this may be really hard to do because this is a lot of balance going on. We're having to really stabilize in the shoulder blades and get light in the feet. Right? So only lift your leg as high as it feels comfortable going. Good, take a nice deep breath. Exhale, bring it down. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Find your balance. It's in that back body, not so much in your feet. Reach that left leg up, pressing the hands down and forward. Find some length, inhale. Good, bring it back down to the floor. Good, let's do the same thing again on the right leg and add a lunge to it. So finding the balance, the hands, pressing the hands down and forward, finding strength in your shoulder blades. Reach the right leg up, inhale. Now we're gonna step this foot up between the hands into a lunge. As you start to move forward, you may realize this foot just wants to land. Let the back knee come down and help this foot up there, all right? Keep your fingertips on the ground, tuck the back toe, lift the back knee. Really find some reach back through that back heel. So lots of length, you feel length in the calf. I want you to press down into this front foot and that front heel, I want you to just feel like you're dragging it back a little bit. It's not gonna go anywhere. But engage it back and you're gonna feel the hamstring fire up. Good, now start to engage the belly more. Good, a lot of stuff happens here in a lunge. I want you to do one more thing. I want you to feel like you're engaging your inner thighs towards each other, squeeze, good. So now we found a lot more power and support in this hold, in this pose, and we're not relying on our hands so much. Good, drop the back knee, take it back to your hands and knees. Take it back to down dog, good. Good, let's do the same thing on the left side. Reach the left leg up. Good, reach it only as high as you feel comfortable. Keep a little soft play in that balancing leg. Press the hands down and forward. Inhale. Good, and then we're gonna step it up to the front of the mat. Lunge, know that you might need to help that foot up. So drop the back knee, help that foot get up there. Good, come up on your fingertips, tuck the back toe. Good, lift the knee, reach that back. Let's do the same thing on this side. Finding length first and then some strength. So I want you to reach that back heel back. And just like we did in plank, you can engage that quadricep here and feel a little more power. And then with that front foot, feel like you're pressing it down a little bit and engaging that heel slightly back. Good, so now you feel the hamstring getting stronger. Good, engage the belly. Good, feel that, drawing in. Little strap around your waist there to support that core. And then the last thing, inner thighs. Engage them towards each other. Now can you do all of it at one time? Press back with the heel, press down, drag the front heel back, engage the belly, engage the inner thighs. Oh, got much stronger. Good, take a breath. Good, let's take it back to down dog. Can always be through your hands and knees. Good, good, good. So we're gonna take that lunge and we're gonna move it frontward and backward and combine it with the half sun salutation that we did just a little while ago, lifting and lengthening, standing. So let's reach the right leg up, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Good, we're gonna step it up to the front of the mat. Let the back knee come down, help it come up. Good, find your fingertips. Now lift, engage it all, everything we just did. Good, take a breath. Good, and then exhale, step it up to the front of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold. Sweep up tall, inhale, remember those nice soft knees. Exhale, Samasthiti. Let's do it again, inhale. Good, exhale, fold. Good, inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Good, now this time hands are gonna come down to the floor and we're gonna step this right leg way back into that lunge. So you're gonna have to balance here for a moment, reach that leg way back, land it. Good, now press back to the back leg, engage this front heel, take an inhale. Good, back knee drops, hands to the floor, all fours to down dog. All four is always an option. You don't have to do it. Reach the left leg up, inhale, press the hands down and forward. Exhale, we're gonna step it up to the front of the mat. Remember, you can drop the back knee, help that leg up there, then pick it up, reach. Good. Drawing back, pushing back, squeezing in. Find that strength and the length, inhale. Exhale, stepping it up, forward fold. Good, inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold. Sweeping all the way up tall, inhale. Exhale, Samasthiti. Good, let's do that again. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, fold. Good, inhale, lift and lengthen half. And this time, exhaling, bring the hands down to the floor, step the left leg way back. So find the balance on your right foot, reach that left leg way back, and land it. Good. Squeeze the inner thighs in, press the back heel back, draw the front heel back, take another breath. Good, exhale, step it back to down dog. Good, soften. Very good. Come up on your toes, bend your knees. We're gonna make our way to the front of the mat, forward fold. No, you can bring a knee down and step that leg up there. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Good, exhale, fold. Now, I want you to bend your knees kind of deep here. We're gonna move into something called Utkatasana chair pose. And what happens a lot of times is we kind of get a little splayed in the legs. So if you have a block, you can go ahead and put that block right between your inner thighs, the skinny way, all right? If you don't, no big deal. All right, so bending those knees deep, press into the feet, lean the hips back, feel more weight in your heels, squeeze the inner thighs towards each other, especially if you have that block, and bring it up, Utkatasana chair pose. Good, so it's like you're trying to sit back in a chair that's not there, right? Good, take a breath. Good, exhale, forward fold. Good, now if you have the block, let's remove it. So that just a block just allowed you to feel what it's like to engage in, but not completely important here. All right, so bend the knees deep, shift the weight back into the heels, engage the belly, feel the inner thighs working towards each other, but they're not gonna touch. Utkatasana, inhale. Good, press to standing. Awesome, so you really feel your quadriceps, your legs on that one. So let's do the same thing from up here now. Keep your hands at your heart. Start to bend the knees, reach the hips back. Good, think inner thighs drawing towards each other but not touching. Feel the weight on your quadriceps. Feel your belly engaged. Notice if you're back, whoop, crumpled, bring those shoulders back. Good, inhale. Exhale, fold. Good. One more time to come up, bend the knees, deep, sit back into the heels. Find Utkatasana chair pose, inhale. Good, press all the way up, Samastiti. Excellent. So we're gonna combine a little bit of what we just did, all three elements. So we're gonna work up and down, the half sun salutations, and then the lunges, and a little Utkatasana chair pose in the middle. Put it into a flow, all right? So it's gonna move a little quicker than we have been. Just go at your own pace, all right? We'll even add the meltdown to it. We'll even add meltdown. That'll be nice. All right, so from here, bring your hands to your heart. Good, inhale. Exhale, Utkatasana chair pose. Take an inhale. Exhale, fold. Good. Take your hands to your thighs. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Good, and then our right foot's gonna step way back into that lunge. So take the fingertips down, step that right foot way back. Find your lunge. Good, take an inhale. Exhale, step back to down dog. Good, now stay here, or if you wanna do a little meltdown, come up on your toes, inhale, roll into that plank like we did in the beginning, rock forward. Take the knees to the floor, melt down, hips, belly, chest. Now, any kind of back bend you want here, maybe your fingers come out wide, maybe your feet come out wide. Inhale, so this is a really wide cobra. Good, exhale, bring it down. Walk the knees back in together. Press back through your knees. Take it back, down dog. Good. Reach the right leg up, inhale, nice and long. Good, exhale, we're gonna step it up to the front of the mat to that lunge. So, let the back knee come down and help it get up there. Good, pick the back leg up, inhale, engage. Good, and then exhale, step it up, forward fold. Good, inhale, lift and lengthen halfway, press the hands to your thighs. Exhale, fold. Sweeping all the way up tall, inhale. Good, exhale, Samastiti. Let's do the same thing on the other side and adapt anything that you need to. All right, hands at your heart. Utkatasana, take an inhale. Exhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Good, take an inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to your thighs. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Good, now left leg's gonna step way back. So fingertips to the floor, left leg reaches way back. Good, with that exhale. Good, engage the inner thighs, take an inhale. We're gonna step back to our down dog. Remember, you can drop the back knee. Down dog, exhale. Good, let your head shake out. Spread out those fingers. Find the stability and weight more in your shoulders than in your hands. Reach the left leg up, inhale. Good, stepping it up to the front of the mat to that lunge. Let the back knee drop and help that foot get up there if it needs it. Pick the back leg up. Good, inhale. Find length and strength at the same time. Let's step it up, forward fold, exhale. Good, inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale, nice deep fold. Press down into the floor. Inhale, sweep all the way up tall. Good, exhale, Samastiti. So we're gonna take that same thing, that same flow. I'll show you what's gonna change. When we step back with a leg, we're gonna drop the back knee. And then maybe we come up into an arm sweeping up low lunge, all right? So that's a maybe. You don't have to do that, especially if you feel like your arms aren't quite long enough to get all that done. All right, so let's start up here at the top. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Let's not worry about Utkatasana chair pose right now. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway, especially because I forgot to do it. Exhale and step your right leg back, way back into that lunge. Good, now drop the back knee. Now hands can sweep up, they can stay here, or you can come right up to your thigh, that works too. Inhale, maybe you bring it up. Good, take a breath. Exhale, hands to the floor, stepping back to your down dog. Remember, you can route through hands and knees. Good. Reach the right leg up. We're moving right into it. Inhale, exhale, step it up to the front, lunge. Good, stay here or drop the back knee. Hands anywhere you're comfortable. Inhale. Good, exhale, step it up, forward fold. Good, inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold. Sweep all the way up tall, inhale. Good, exhale, Samastitihi. Let's do it again, other side. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen half. Good, left leg steps back now. Exhale, big long lunge. Good, and then maybe bring the back knee down. Hands wherever they're comfortable, or sweep up, inhale. Exhale, make your way back to down dog. Good, reach the left leg up, inhale. Step it up to the front of the mat, big lunge. Good, drop the back knee. Hands anywhere you want them, inhale. Exhaling, stepping up, forward fold. Good, inhale, lift half. Exhale, fold. Good, soften in those knees, sweep up tall, inhale. Exhale, Samastitihi. Okay, now let's take that same sequence. Let's add our chair pose into it while we're up here. And then when we get back to down dog, let's do a meltdown and back up. All right, so we're gonna add a couple elements. So inhale, reach up. Exhale, Utkatasana. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Good, inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Right leg steps way back, big long lunge. Good. Maybe drop the back knee, maybe sweep the hands up, inhale. Exhale, make your way back to down dog first. Good, now once you're there, inhale into your plank. Engage the quads, drive the hands down, find the long spine, rock forward, let the knees come down. Melt down, hips, belly, chest. Let's come right back up, let's melt up, press down. Melt right back up, little reverse. Good, and back to your down dog. So that's another option instead of a back bend. Reach the right leg up, inhale. Step it up to that big lunge. Exhale, drop the back knee, maybe sweep up, inhale. Exhale, step up, forward fold. Good, inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Good, exhale, nice deep fold. Sweep up tall, inhale. Good, exhale, Samastitihi. Same thing, other side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Take an inhale. Exhale, fold. Hands on your thighs, inhale, lift halfway. Good, left leg steps back now, big. Good, stay here or drop the back knee. Maybe sweep up, inhale. Good, exhale, down dog first. Good, come up on your toes, inhale, roll through that plank. Good, rocking forward on the toes, let the knees come down, melt down. So hips, belly, chest, and then melt back up. Chest, belly, hips. Make your way back to down dog. Good. Reach the left leg up, inhale. Step it up to the front, big lunge. Drop the back knee. Inhale, sweep up. Good, exhale, step up, forward fold. Good, inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale, nice deep fold. Inhale, sweep all the way up top. Awesome, exhale, Samastitihi. Good, so let's just stay up here just for a moment and find a little bit of balance. So we're gonna move into what's called Vrksasana, or tree pose. I'm gonna step back just a little, just so I'm more in your camera view. So we're gonna balance into our right foot. Now what we have to think about when we're balancing is if we lock out the balancing limb, then we lose all capability of all the muscle running down our leg, its capability to stabilize us. So we need to keep whatever limb is balancing, which in this case is gonna be the right leg first, that needs to stay a little soft. We also need to watch for the hips, kind of hitching out to the side and trying to compensate. So think about hips staying square. You can even take your hands on your hips, little knees staying soft. Just start to balance on that right foot.
Good, notice if your back crumples. Bring that back up nice and tall. So we've got some play in this knee. The belly engages. I want you to feel the pelvic floor draw up. So it feels like we're drawing away from the floor. We're getting lighter and lighter. Spine's getting longer and longer. Crown of the head reaching towards the ceiling. And then we start to rotate that left knee outward. So you're engaging that left glute, that left buttock, to rotate that leg outward. And the foot can be right here on the floor. You don't have to remove it from the floor. Or you can start to slide up your leg. The only no-no spot is pushing your foot into your knee. Good, so we want to be able to keep some play there. But it can come up, or you can even bring your hand up, put it all the way up. Just notice that this, all the way up here, is a hangout spot, right? This, activating the glute back, is much more difficult. All right, so just because the biggest element of the pose is done quite a bit and looks really impressive, there's not a whole lot of strength going on right here, because mostly my inner thigh is holding onto it on the balancing leg, right? A little easier to balance. Right here, flexing that foot, pressing it back, a little bit harder. So find where it's balanced comfortably for you. Good, but know that bigger is not always better. Good. Draw the belly in and up. Maybe reach up. Can you all hear my dog out there? He's asleep outside the door and he's running and barking in his sleep. It's so cute. Very good, bring it down. Slide that foot down. Good, so holding on to that for a little bit really works up some strength. So it's not just about balance. We're trying to train our muscles to be balanced and strong at the same time. So let's do the same thing on the left side. So let there be some play in that left knee, right? Good. Start to bring this foot up, this right foot. Maybe take your hands on your hips so you can feel them if they start to move around. As you start to bring this foot up, engage that right glute to draw that knee back. So really pushing this leg back, back, back. Good, belly strong. Maybe start to slide that leg up. He's awake. Good, now, only coming up as far as you feel comfortable, and again, going all the way up. It's not quite as hard. Press that knee back. Good, the only no-no spot's putting that heel right in the bend of that knee, but this is nice and hard right here. Good, engage. Start to sweep up. Good. Take a breath. Good. Exhale, bring it down. Good. Shake it out. Good. So we're going to make our way back to the floor, and then we're going to work on some standing poses. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale, make your way back to down dog. Good, and just stay there. Or, if it feels really good, which it probably will, maybe find a little child's pose. So close knee or wide knee. If you go close knee, child's pose, and knees together, you can also reach your hands back to the arches of your feet and let your elbows and shoulders flop open. And this can feel really good in that middle back. And then take a nice deep breath. Good, really feeling the back body expand. Think about breathing in so deeply into your back body that you imagine the ribs themselves are separating just a little bit away from each other, getting that good expansion. Take a few more breaths here. Come back up to your hands and knees. Spread the fingers out nice and wide. We're going to make our way back into down dog. So tuck your toes. Find your down doggy. All right, we're going to do similar to what we've been doing, but we're going to start to use a lot more strength on the legs to come up tall. So I want you to reach your right leg up. Inhale. Good, and then we're going to step it up to the front of the mat, that big lunge. So help it get up there if it needs it, and get it all the way up there. So it needs to be in line with your hand. This is going to be really important to get up off the floor, all right? Tuck the back toe. Press back through the back heel and engage the quadricep in that back leg. Now we need to start getting really strong here because we're going to move the hands away from the floor.
So I want you to feel pressing down into your front foot, engaging that back heel back, so you feel that hamstring again. Engage the inner thighs and belly. Start to lengthen the spine and come all the way up, high crescent lunge. Good. Now, if your foot is really far to the center of your mat, it's like you're on a tightrope. So move the foot so it's off space center, because that back foot's probably going to be closer to center back. So we don't want the front foot also closer, or you're just really having a hard time balancing here. So only lunging as deep into this front knee feels comfortable, and know that back knee might stay a little bent. That's because our hip flexors are probably a little bit tight. So let's stretch them too while we're up here. Take your hand on your belly. Take the other hand on your sacrum, right down there below your low back. Draw your belly up. Push the sacrum down. So you might have felt your back knee bend even more because, ooh, this is tight. The hip flexors, the psoas is tight. Good. Now think about keeping your upper body tall. Maybe pushing back just a little bit of that heel. My hip flexors are crazy tight still from my car wreck, so it's just part of life, right? We work with what we got going on. Good. If it feels comfortable, inhale, reach up. Good. Exhale, bring the hands back down to the floor. Make your way back to down dog. Good. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Reach the left leg up, inhale. Step it up to the front of the mat, that big lunge. Now watch your foot placement. If it's right down the center of the mat, shoot it off right between the center and your hands. So we've got some space between those feet for balance. Press through the back foot. Press down the front foot. Engage the heel back. Feel the hamstring. Find your inner thighs, your belly. Lengthen. Good. Now feel lighter on your hands. Start to come all the way up. High crescent lunge. Good. Same thing, the back leg might not necessarily be super straight. And let me tell you, sometimes you see pictures of crescent lunges, these really deep, low things, but notice the lower I get, the more my spine goes forward. So this really isn't that hard. Much harder to keep your spine tall and to really feel those hip flexors. So as stretch on the front of your leg. So let's stretch that belly on your, hand on your belly, hand on your sacrum. Boom. Draw that belly up, sacrum down. So we're really getting straight up and down vertical. Good, and then you press back. Engage that front heel back a little bit. Good, feel the power that's generating in your inner thighs and your hips when you're doing this. So we're not creating just a shape, we're trying to create energy. Shapes don't do anything for us, but energy does, right? Strength, power, mobility, all of those are very important. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bring it down. Step back to your down dog. Remember, you can go through hands and knees. Good, and then from here, let's go into a little Vinyasa meltdown. So come up on your toes, roll into that plank. Rocking forward, take the knees to the floor, melt down. Now you can melt back up. You can do Cobra Pose, which is right there. Or you can take the hands wide, maybe feet wide. Good, and just feel the strength in your back as you do that back bend. Good, and then we'll make our way back to our down dog. So we're gonna take that high crescent lunge and we're gonna add on a little bit to it. We're gonna add warrior two. Very simple transition, but very different energy that's gonna be created. So reach your left leg up, inhale. Good, step it up to that big lunge. Good, keep the back knee up. Press down, engage the heel back. Strengthen the back leg, inner thighs, belly, spine. A lot going on, sweep up. Good. Now try and find a tall spine. If you feel bent here, soften the back knee so you can get up tall, all right? Inhale. Good. Now our transition is going to be this. We're going to take our back foot, we're going to rotate it so the heel turns a little towards the back right corner. So that's going to allow that leg to straighten out, right? And then we're going to lunge down into the front knee, thinking about 90-ish. No less than 90. We're not extending way out there. So just a nice bend in the knee. And then feel that right knee pressing towards the right pinky toe by activating the right glute. Good. Now, lots of things happen in Warrior Two, all right? So we're already activating the glute. We're feeling that front heel engage down and back just a bit so we can find the hamstring. We're pressing long through the back leg, engaging that back quadricep to really feel the strength here. Good, and then if we want more, feel like, hold on to all that,
and feel like your heels are kind of drawing towards each other. And all of a sudden, you're gonna feel the pelvic floor draw in, draw the pelvic floor up, reach the arms out, look out over your right fingertips. So warrior two, very, very strong. If we stop worrying about the shape, the exact shape of it, and we start thinking more about the energy of it. Good, so you feel all that power drawing in, drawing up, and reaching all the way through your fingertips and the crown of your head. So the whole body is involved. Take another breath. Good, exhale, bring the hands back down to the floor, come up on the back toe, bring that back knee down, make your way back to down dog. Good, let your head go. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Reach the left leg up, inhale. Good, step it up to that big lunge. We're gonna turn this into high crescent lunge. Draw down, press back, engage the inner thighs. Bring that spine up. Now notice if you're hinging forward, really, really common here. Soften the back knee. Get up nice and tall. That will work itself out in time. But if we don't think about stretching constantly this psoas, it's not going to. And you're just gonna create habits that you end up right here and you're like, what's the big deal about crescent? It's not that hard. But that is. Good. So from here, we're going to transition to warrior two. So back foot is going to rotate down. So that back heel is pointed towards the back left corner now. Now you may have shortened up your stance a little bit. That's fine. Who cares, right? It's all energy. Maybe bend the front knee a little deeper. Feels okay. Take that left knee. Feel like it's drawing towards your left pinky toe by activating your left glute, your left hip. Good, press down, draw back with that front heel. So this leg is really strong in the front. Let's concentrate on the back now. Press out through the outside edge of your back foot. Engage that quadricep. So our legs are getting really strong. Good, now let's add that whole synergy inward and upward. So feel like the heels, boom, are anchoring towards each other. Good, feel the pelvic floor lift up. Feel the spine get longer. Feel everything reach out. Extend those arms, look out over your left fingertips. Good, take another breath. Feeling energy, reactivate it. Draw in, draw up, reach out. Good, really strong in the hips. Long and tall in the spine. Reaching through the arms and the crown of the head. Take another breath. Good, and then exhale, release. Take it back to your down dog. Go ahead and drop that back knee so you're not stressing. Good, and take it back to your down dog. Good, let's take this into a little chaturanga meltdown vinyasa. First time I used the chaturanga word today. But that's what this is. This is a version. So rocking forward, knees down, meltdown. Just a much kinder version, teaching you not to shrug those shoulders. All right, so let's do locust pose. We haven't done that yet. Reach the arms back, turn the palms down. Good, now, I want you to start to lift the upper body. Go ahead and leave the toes on the floor for now. Feel like you're reaching your fingertips to the back of the room. Feel like your armpits are squeezing. And allow the shoulders to kind of roll up and around and back to find that length. Now, if it feels comfortable, start to float the feet. Maybe think about taking your heels together. Feel the glutes and the inner thighs too. Take a breath. Exhale, bring it down. Locust is hard. Good, bring it back. Maybe route through child's pose if that feels good. Take it back to your down dog. Very good. I don't know how long we've been doing this, but I want to do one more thing before we start to close this out a bit. So we're gonna add one more standing pose. We're gonna move into Trikonasana. So if you have a block, definitely have your blocks handy. And we will go into it, all right? So Trikonasana with a block, not super important. I'll show you the alternative, but might as well start teaching it the right way from the get-go. Get back into down dog. All right, same progression. We're just gonna add on Trikonasana or triangle, all right? Reach the right leg up, inhale. Exhale, stepping it up, big lunge. Engage it all to come up to your high crescent lunge. How can you transition to your warrior two? Spin the back heel down. Engage that right glute. Lunge down, find that energy. Good, there's your warrior two. Take an inhale. Good, now exhale. We're gonna bring our hands to the floor. And you might feel like that back leg is really far away. So you can walk it in 6 inches closer. And then really make sure that that back heel is angled towards the back corner and that it's not straight with the edge of the mat. So we want a little angle on there. Grab your block, take it to the outside of your front leg. Now, you might want 2 blocks. You might want a step ladder, right? So whatever you need here to hold on to, you can always take your hand to your shin, right? We just don't want to think about getting really, really, really low here. We want to get long. So let's start to straighten out the front leg and just see how that feels. Try not to lock out the front knee. Good, let that right hip shift back. It's very common for it to want to swing out to the side. Draw it back. Almost feel like your torso is rotating all the way around over the top of that leg. Good, and then press through the back foot too. So we're anchored, strong in the inner thighs. Now, your hand is on the block or blocks or your shin. What we don't want is for the spine to round down. All right, we actually want the spine to lengthen forward and the hip reach back. So we're getting a really long, straight spine. And then as you start to rotate, you're engaging the inner thighs more to help support that spine to bring it around and move into your triangle. So the majority of the work is this right hip drawing back, the back leg, quadricep reaching, the spine reaching forward, and then this left shoulder blade rotating the twist around. Good. Take another breath. Good. This is triangle Trikonasana. Bring your hands down. Move your block village if you have one there. Take the back knee down and step back to your down dog. Good, let the head go. Let's do the same thing other side. Reach the left leg up, inhale. Step it up, big lunge. Good. Good, anchor in, come up high, crescent lunge. Good. Notice if you're tall or you're leaning forward, find tall. Spin the back heel down, open up warrior 2. Good, feel that knee pressing, glute strong, inner thigh energy drawing up and out your fingertips. Good, so our standing poses should not just be a place to get to another place. It should be work when we're in them too. Take a breath. Good, exhale, bring your hands down to the floor. Now, watch that back foot. If it feels really far away or if it feels really straight, just turn those toes forward, the heel back. So you've got a nice little 45-degree angle there. And then grab your block or your blocks or hand on the shin or the thigh, wherever you need to. I want you to straighten out the front leg first. This is big, a lot of hamstring length happening here. This is really common for everything to kind of hitch out to the side because the hamstring's really tight. So just try and find as much length as you can and know that leg might not be completely straight, that's okay. Good, lengthen the spine forward, draw that left hip back, press back through that front foot and fire up that quadricep. So our legs are getting really strong. Now we can start to lengthen the spine way out forward. Good, feel that left hip draw back even more as we start to rotate, open, 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 reaching the right hand up to the ceiling. So think really long spine reaching forward. Good, this kind of Trikonasana way down here doesn't really do much for our spine, right? We got our hand to the floor, but we've lost it. We've really lost it. So hand to the floor, not important. As much length as you create is what we're looking for. Take a big breath. Exhale, bring your hands to the floor, drop the back knee, make your way back into your down dog. We're gonna take one last little chaturanga meltdown vinyasa here. You can do any of those back bend versions that we've been doing, whatever feels good. Come up on your toes, roll into your plank, rocking forward, knees down, melt down. Good, I'm gonna do locust again, but you do whatever you want. Take your little back bend, inhale. Good, exhale, route through child's pose. Very good, and then let's have a seat. Very good. All righty, what do I have on my little plan here? I don't have anything. So we are going to work on Paschimottanasana. So seated forward fold. Something that is done horribly wrong so much of the time. It is thought of to be a hamstring stretch when you're first beginning out, because you reach your legs out, you start to hinge, and you're like, oh, my hamstrings. So let's get the hamstrings out of it, all right? Go ahead and take your blocks and put them on your knees, or if you have something to put on your knees, and if you don't have anything to put on your knees, just keep your knees bent, all right? Let's not worry about straightening this out, all right? So from here, we want to notice if our tailbone is drawing down and our spine is rounding, or if we have some lift here. So I actually want you to physically reach back, grab your buns, draw them up and back, and try and find that little sit bone down there. So now all of a sudden, the moment that we make that shift, we want to kind of hinge forward. We're feeling a little more neutral here in the low back, so that we're not going to be really rounding and putting a lot of strain on the lumbar spine. So from here, find some length, flex your feet, keep the knees bent. Good, draw the belly in, and then just start to hinge forward. Now, if you have a strap, you could even take your strap. You don't have to have one, but if you have a strap, you can take it around your feet. And as you hinge forward, draw the elbows back so that we're keeping our spine from doing this, right? All we're trying to do is find this little stretch. So we're stretching the muscles that run from the top of our pelvis into the bottom of our ribs. And these guys are really responsible for a lot of low back stress, right? So drawing back, working those hips back. Now, wherever you are, take a nice deep breath into your belly. We're not looking to try and cram our head between our knees. If I was to do that right now, I'm not getting any more stretch in my back. It actually kind of lessens it because the upper back rounds and the lumbar spine loses its neutral state. Just take another breath. Good, and release. And let's make our way back to our backs. So I'm going to angle myself a little strange here on my mat, just so that you can see things a little bit better. So from here, we're going to go into a figure four stretch, and we're going to do figure four normal, and then we're going to kind of do figure four like it's really doing something for us. So what I want you to do is, I'm going to start with my left foot so that you can see better. So go ahead and follow me. Start with your left foot. Left foot crossed over the right knee. And then we're going to reach around behind that right knee and draw it in. Now, there's a possibility that might not happen for you, right? So if you have a towel or a strap, you can put that around behind your knee and just kind of use it to hold on to. All right, so whatever you need to do here, just get something to hold on to the back. It's not your hands. Now, I want you to flex both feet. So let's find energy again. So let's just not be floppy. Let's flex both feet and feel like you're pressing your left ankle into your right thigh. And as you do that, you're going to see and feel the left hip fire up, and you're going to see that left knee press more to the front of the room. Good. Now from here, keep doing that. And then I want you to find some space between your low back and the mat. So we're going to do that by dropping the tailbone down a little more towards the mat. And all of a sudden, you're going to feel a little more space in your low back. Still holding on to the back of that knee. Now, keep all of that. Pressing, flexing, anchoring the tailbone down, and draw that leg in a little closer again. Woohoo! Now, we are working an active stretch into the hip. So we're engaging the muscles and stretching them at the same time. So what this does is it reduces the need for excessive range of motion, which if you're very stretchy and flexy, you might have, and then you're not strengthening up the muscles. And it also teaches our muscles to be able to engage and lengthen at the same time. This is also really, really important for the hip, very important for the hip, because the hip sometimes can get too loosey-goosey, and then we end up with problems. Good. Draw your knees in and cross. Let's do the same thing other side. So taking the left foot to the floor, right ankle over the left knee. Good. Drawing that leg in whatever way you need to, with a strap, towel, or with your hands. And then start to flex both feet. Feel active. Feel like you're pressing that right ankle into the top of your right thigh. And then feel as you push that foot in, feel that right knee want to kind of drift towards the front of the room. So we're not forcing it, we're just doing it. Getting stronger in the right hip. Good, now from here, keep all that activity. Let's find that space in the low back again. So start to let the tailbone drift back down. Let that low back find some neutral space. Then hold on to that and start to drop back in. Good, so a little deeper stretch without having to pull our feet to our face. That's nice. Good, nice strong activity going on in the hip as well as strengthening. Good, release. Draw your knees into your chest. Let's take a little twist side to side before we move into Shavasana. So go ahead and take your arms out to your sides. Keep your inner thighs strong. So as we're rolling to one side, I want you to think of like your legs are just all wrapped up together. All right, so as we roll to the right side, keep this strength wrapped up together. And if as you get to the other side, if this left shoulder comes up off the floor, let it. Take your left arm, reach it up above your head. Maybe even grab your left hand with your right hand if it feels good and pull and find some more length. Good, take a deep breath all the way down into your belly. Bring it back in. Imagine that's still wrapped up together, so you're using your belly strength. Bring it over to the other side. Good, notice if the right shoulder blade comes off, it will probably. Reach the right arm up, let it. Good, and then maybe take your left hand and grab your right arm and reach, find more length. You're gonna feel it in places you might not have expected to. Take a big breath. Good, bring it back to center. Keep those legs wrapped up, wrapped up, wrapped up. Good. Now we're gonna roll to our right side and press up to a seated position. Good. Now, if you want to do Shavasana, I'm gonna get you into Shavasana and then I'm actually gonna turn the feet off so that you can stay in Shavasana for as long as you want to, all right? So no, that's what our transition is gonna be right here. So if you'd like to find Shavasana, it might feel good to have something underneath your knees. So something to elevate and keep those knees up off the floor. I'm gonna use blocks as an example, but they're not the most comfortable thing. So if you have a pillow or a bolster or something and you wanna put them underneath your thighs, above your knees, you can do that. And that just takes a little bit of weight out of your hips. But if that doesn't feel good, then you can take your feet a little wide and let the knees fall towards each other. So wherever you are, lay your arms, reach out to your sides. So they can be really far away, they can be a little closer, but just don't let them touch. Turn those palms upward. And then I want you to push down the back of your arms a little bit and just work your shoulder blades under your back. So that you can feel your chest lifted a little bit. Good, and start to breathe in and out through your mouth now, just as your breath naturally comes. I'm going to stay with you for just a bit, lead you into some breath, and then I'm going to leave you here for as long as you want. So it was great sharing your practice with me today. Have a wonderful rest of your night. Close your eyes. Start to breathe in and out through your mouth just now as your breath naturally comes. Feel the breath rise in your chest and in your belly. Feel the breath as you exhale, relax the whole body. Notice as you're breathing, if you're holding on to tension in places, if you're gripping anywhere or trying to hold too much structure. And on your exhale, really soften in those places. Take this time to keep your mind focused just on your breath, feeling and noticing that inhale, and feeling and noticing and softening with that exhale. And as you're breathing and noticing, start to notice the little space that's at the end of your exhale before your next inhale, where there's nothing happening. There's no breathing out, there's no breathing in, just complete stillness in your body. And allow your mind to also rest in that stillness. And as you need to breathe, do so. Let that breath come naturally. And then watching your exhale rest in that stillness. And keep this breath going and keep that focus going for as long as you want. Namaste.